These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Thursday, April 27th, right after the Celtics win in Game 6 over the Atlanta Hawks. I'm still not over that they won the game. I was so convinced they were going to lose that. I was like, oh, going back to Boston. It's going to be Game 7. This is going to suck. And then they just, I tweeted out, it was like, as much as I wish they could have done it the whole game, that was great time for them to start trying. It was good timing.
Yeah, it's like they mix and matched two different games. They played the fourth quarter that they should have played to go along with their 3 quarters in Game 5.
Yeah.
And played the 3 quarters that would go along with the fourth quarter of Game 5 in the first 3 tonight. Very impressed that they actually won a close game. That's something I bitched about last time. I said the Celtics do not win close games. We looked at the stats. Stats said we're wrong, but still think those stats are fake. But very impressive. They ripped off a 12-0 run in the fourth quarter. Tatum made some big shots. Smart made some big shots. Jaylen Brown kept them in it when everybody else was kind of reeling. Even Al Horford made shots after I was texting Jack, and I was like, they shouldn't play this guy. He can't defend right now, and he can't shoot threes.
And then he did both.
I'm glad. I love Al Horford, and that's one of my guys. But, like, when they're targeting him every time, it was frustrating to watch, and they're not getting rebounds anyway. I was like, just put Tatum at center at this point. But no, they executed. They won this series, and it turns out Jack and I know ball. There are a lot of people in the comments at the last pod that said we didn't know ball because we said the Hawks weren't good. But the Hawks are done playing basketball now. In fairness to the Hawks, they are as good as the Bucks. Actually, better. They won more playoff games.
This is true. I can't believe the Bucks only won one playoff game. We'll talk about that later.
Dude, imagine losing in the first round.
Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be the Celtics.
Shout out Celtics fan on Twitter tweeting, all right, we're burner Celtics. We can make fun of the Bucks now. And no, I was pulling my hair out for the first, half. Third quarter was rough too. Celtics just, they hate rebounding, man. They hate it. They just refuse. Which is like, if you look at the stats, like Tatum 14 rebounds, give him credit. He had some big boards at the end of the game there. Horford had 12. Rob had a pretty rough game. I don't think he was very good. What was the ending rebound stats? 52 to 50. They out rebounded the Hawks in total, which is like, that doesn't seem right. Like, I don't think they did that. And it was 11 to 12 on offensive rebounds too. So it wasn't even like a crazy difference there, but like in the first quarter, the Hawks had 4 offensive rebounds. And in the second quarter, in the first quarter, the Hawks had 6 offensive rebounds of their 12. Like in the first quarter, I thought it was just like, all right, well, we're in for another hellscape game. And Trae Young was incensed in the first half. Trae Young could do no wrong in the first half of that game. 8 for 15, 4 of 8, 25 points. But in the second half, the Celtics said, you know what, Trae Young, we don't really feel like letting you do anything. We're kind of just going to say, nope, stop. Trae Young in the second half, 1 of 13 from the field. That's crazy.
Yeah.
5 points, 1 of 13, 0 of 4. He's making some good passes, 6 assists, but the Celtics all in all shut him down. Good defense in the second half on Trae Young. It just so happened that DeAndre Hunter and John Collins decided that they were going to take over as the offensive guys, which was very annoying as well. But I mean, for as poor as the Celtics played in the first half and a little bit in the third quarter too, they turned up when it mattered. And again, in a few weeks, that's all we're probably going to, or I'll say a few months, actually, that's all we're probably going to remember is that the Celtics won and the Hawks probably took a game they shouldn't have. But I mean, if we're looking back at the series and you see it's a 4-1 series, you're not blinking an eye. And so, 4-2, you might double take and say, what happened? Then you remember, oh yeah, they had a bad loss, but then they came back. So like at the end of the day, this isn't going to matter in a couple weeks. But man, I really thought they were not going to win that game. I was so worried. Even with like 4 minutes left before they went on that surge and picked up the energy on both ends, I was like, this is going to be so anxiety inducing. Like I really thought it was going to come down to a last shot. And that's the last thing I wanted. I was like getting flashbacks to game 5. I'm like, Trae Young's going to get a shot to win this game after being absolutely terrible in the second half. Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Celtics made me sick the last 2 days. Last time we recorded, I had a headache. Then I woke up the next day and I felt like I got hit by a truck. It kind of carried over into today. I think I'm good now. But, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But very impressive that they won a close game. This is a big step for them.
They did.
We talked about it a little bit earlier in the series, and we were like, we got to see how they're going to bounce back. This was a good passive test early for the Celtics. Respect to the Hawks. They definitely gave them a bit more of a fight than probably any of us expected after those first 2 games.
They played well. I mean, as much as the Celtics played bad, the Hawks stepped up when they needed to, so you got to give them credit.
Yeah, you absolutely do. They made it very difficult on the Celtics. They did a great job at attacking the defense. They killed them on the glass, of course. But the Celtics buckled down. They won Game 6 on the road. They won 2 of 3 on the road. Pretty good by them. And they're on to Philly, which is great. I'm glad I don't have to see Capella again. I'm glad I don't have to see Trae Young again. I'm glad. Who else? Bogdanovich. I hate him.
John Collins.
Bogdanovich on the list of guys I wish guys that make me a self-loathing white man. Yes.
Sadiq Bey decided to make some shots. Jalen Johnson made a shot. All the guys, DeAndre Hunter made a ton of shots. All the guys, around Trae Young stepped up, and Celtics were just able to get it done in the end, which was good. So that was good to see. Oh, but oh man, was it stressful. It was way more stressful than I wanted it to be, than I think a lot of people wanted it to be. Luckily, the Celtics sort of took control of the game before it got down to the final possession. Although I will say, Sam, when what was the play? There was something where like DeAndre Hunter went right up, hit a 3. Celtics came down. I forget if they scored or didn't. Then they went back down. Then Al Horford fouled Bogdanovich on a 3, and I was like, "Oh, it's over. Oh, it's done. The Hawks are going to come back now."
I don't think I ever felt that. Once they went up 8 with under a minute, and I was like, "Okay, that's it. They're done."
Fair.
I was like, even the Celtics can't screw this up. Like, this isn't a close game anymore. They can't fumble it. We can knock on wood. The game's over.
Hey, maybe they'll replay it. Maybe the Hawks will win a contest. They protest the game. I don't trust anything anymore. Can we talk about the ridiculous inbounds defense just quickly on those the last 4 plays of the game?
Well, that annoyed me. It took far too long.
That was amazing. The Celtics played perfect defense. Trae Young throws the ball at Marcus, his groin area, as TNT would like to say. He threw it at his nuts, hit him right below the belt, out of bounds. Happened again, threw it right back at Marcus. Marcus and Trae Young start laughing. Marcus goes, "We're going to be here all day." DeAndre Hunter tries to throw it in, then he has to throw it off Horford. Then he just, I'm convinced DeAndre Hunter just gave up and just threw it out of bounds. He's like,
yeah, the best is they had 10 tries and they just got the pass to no one.
You know what?
That was to the Celtics bench.
DeAndre Hunter really wanted to make his flight to Cancun. He was like, "All right, pack it up. Let me go home."
Yeah. Like, they were all kind of heated. They thought they were going to lose Game 5, and they were like, they're actually going to trade Trae Young in the summer because all the guys hate him now because he helped them win Game 5, and they actually all wanted to be done.
Oh man, it's too funny. I will say, as much as Trae Young plays like a rat, and I'll stand by that, half of those were not fouls, and as much as I'm the first person who'll say like, "Oh, I mean, it's not the player's fault. He's just playing to the rules." He plays like a rat. I don't care. Same time,
no, I agree.
At the same time,
Finish, though.
He did earn a little bit of respect.
Yeah,
he played well.
Respect.
Like he played bad, and then he turned it around in a big way, and he came up with some big shots. And I give him credit for that. Except he shot 1 of 13 in the second half, so a little less credit for kind of falling off.
I'm in too much of a good mood to crap on him right now, but yeah, if Tatum shot 1 of 13, my head would have been in the microwave. Thankfully, I didn't need to use the microwave tonight.
Yes. You didn't. Let's talk about Jayson Tatum.
Tatum beat the microwave allegations.
He did. Early on, it didn't look like he was gonna. He really looked like he was going right for a microwave game.
Celtics minus 330 against Philadelphia.
Pretty big favorites. I mean, I guess the Embiid injury obviously is going to play a part.
Got to look to see what insurance is.
But yeah, Jayson Tatum ended the night 11 of 20 from the field, 4 of 10 from 3. We were close. We said he was going to take 11. 30 points, 14 rebounds is so huge. Led the team in defensive rebounding. 7 assists was big. 1 steal, 2 blocks. Pretty big defensive possessions at the end of the game there for Tatum. 0 turnovers for Jayson Tatum. that's a good game. If he's not, he had a lot of troubles with turnovers in the past couple games. So shout out to him. And especially, excuse me, especially if you look at the way Tatum started, he had a great game. He started first quarter 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. If you take those away, he shot 3 of 6 from 3 in the last 3 quarters. And then what would that be? 9 of 14 from the field and 3 of 6 from 3 after the first quarter. Like, he really turned it up. He took a few questionable threes in the first quarter there where he was just pulling up in people's faces. I tweeted about it. I'm sure you were upset too. But then
a lot of balls
to
shoot 4 threes in the first quarter after shooting 1 of 10.
Yeah, but then as the game got going, he cut back on the pull-up threes. He did still take some, but they were more in rhythm. I thought the timing was better. He took a 3 in the corner, which you never see him shoot, and he shoots really well on those, so it was nice to see the Celtics get him that look.
Why don't they run more for him in the corner?
I don't know. It's because he's so ball dominant. And I don't agree that's the right play, but he also drove so much. He drove to the rim on like the second play of the game and got a dunk, and then he just didn't do it for the rest of the first quarter. And then the rest of the game, he was super aggressive. He got to the rim, was making plays inside. He got to the free throw line, only took 4 free throws. I feel like that's got to be up. Tatum should be leading the team in free throws every night. But regardless, like great turnaround from Tatum to start being aggressive in the latter stages of that game, because you need that from him.
Yeah, both Tatum and Brown, 30 plus. Tatum, 14 rebounds, really big.
That's huge.
Considering the situation there with Atlanta killing them on the offensive glass. How many offensive rebounds did the Hawks end up with tonight? Let me scroll. 12. Not that many. Felt like a million.
It's because 6 were in the first quarter.
Well, even then, it still felt like a million. You know what's funny is I think they're shaving offensive rebounds on the stat sheet.
Yeah, that what you're going with.
Yeah, because my eyes I counted at least 30.
I will say, I think the reason you feel like there's more of them is because some of the plays are like, when Jayson Tatum and Robert Williams were fighting for the rebound and they didn't get it. I doubt that counted as an offensive rebound for the Hawks. I bet it counted as like a steal or something. You know what I'm saying? Like the Celtics had a decent amount of possessions where they would just get the rebound or they'd turn it over, like that Grant Williams turnover, or it would bounce off their foot and they wouldn't get the rebound. So like the Hawks don't get credit for a rebound, but they'll get a second opportunity. And I feel like the Celtics had too many of those this series too. But Tatum, shout out. Like you said, he beat the allegations, beat the microwave game. He deserves a ton of credit for turning it around, especially after how terrible he was in game 5. He needed a bounce back, and this was a good bounce back from him. And then there's Jaylen Brown, who was once again really good. Jaylen Brown. Sorry, I almost said Tatum because I'm writing his name out. Jaylen Brown struggled a little bit early on. It felt like the ball was sticking to his hand a little bit too much. There were a few times throughout the game where he just missed like open passes, like he just tunnel vision to the hoop. But he was great. He made all the plays he needed to. He made a big 3. And then as much as I tweeted about this, as much as I said he had tunnel vision because he did a lot of the game, that pass he made in the final minute of the game to hit Smart for the 3 was such a huge pass that won the series. It like clinched the series. So Jaylen deserves a ton of credit for this game as well. He had another 30 piece, very efficient, per usual for him. 13 of 25 from the field, 6 of 8 from 3. He was red hot from deep. Big Jaylen Brown game.
Yeah. Jaylen Brown, he was big in the sense that he was there to answer the call in the middle of the game when nobody else was. You saw a lot of different guys step up in the fourth quarter. Great. That's awesome because I thought nobody was going to step up in the fourth quarter. So getting like 5 guys stepping up in the fourth quarter kind of ruled. But Jaylen Brown was the guy in the middle of the game when Atlanta quite literally couldn't miss and the Celtics couldn't get a stop when they actually did get them to miss. That was coming down and making threes, that was pushing the pace and getting to the basket and making things a little bit more difficult on that Atlanta defense when the Celtics really, really needed somebody to do something on offense. Because there were times there that they were hanging on by a thread.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, it really felt they were like they were one Trae Young 3 from collapsing.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
And luckily Trae Young decided he wasn't going to make any more after the first half.
He only made all of them.
What do you mean?
Like he made like
threes?
Literally every 3.
I know. He shot I mean, you think that, but he made 3 threes in the first quarter, 1 in the second, and 0 the rest of the game.
Good.
It's because he started so hot. And I agree with you. That's not me like telling you you're wrong. I understand
He
what
only
you're
made
saying.
4 threes?
Right?
Oh, that's fake. You can't tell me that NBA.com is not shaving stats.
No,
Like they definitely like kicked a couple of those threes. Like DeAndre Hunter didn't make 4 threes.
Yeah, he did. He did. I remember them. They were all annoying because you're like, well,
No,
the thing
the
is,
annoying ones were John Collins. John Collins, who played like me for 4 games, and then all of a sudden decided he was an NBA player.
Mhm.
John Collins, who was in the running for my favorite non-Celtic of all time for a while.
because he was playing like so
Yeah,
bad.
him and Marc Gasol are like all-time playoff favorites for me.
Shout out to those guys. And shout out to Jaylen Brown, like I said, for playing so well. But yeah, it was frustrating to see those guys shoot that well. I think a big part of it was playing the drop defense on Trae Young, and nobody in the Celtics was helping over, right? Like you can sit there and say, oh, that's Al's guy, blame Derek White for not switching there. But like if they're going to be in drop defense and Derek White's going to be contesting Trae Young, while trailing, somebody's got to rotate over and help cover Collins or Hunter. And there wasn't enough of that. I would like to talk about the captain, por favor. I mean, you kind of have to. We talked a lot about how the best player has to be on the court, even if that means sitting smart. You saw a lot of Celtics fans, quote unquote, who love to hate on Marcus Smart, say he can't play at the end of the game. He's bad. Get him out. Marcus Smart was the best player at the end of the game for the Celtics. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but I don't give a shit. He was so good.
Threes.
I don't care. They were open threes. He took him and he made the 3 that mattered. Marcus Smart was so good down the stretch. Came up big for them. 22 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. 6 of 12, 2 of 5, 8 of 9 from the free throw line. Shout out Marcus. Shout out Marcus for closing out that game. He was huge. He deserves credit.
Yeah. So not a lot of Marcus hate on the timeline today.
Wonder why?
You know why? Is because the NFL draft was on tonight.
Oh, so all
the idiot Patriots fans were busy and they weren't watching. And also he ruled. He was great. He started this game great. He came out and said, "We're here." And then everybody else disagreed for 3 quarters, but then they all showed up in the 4th quarter. He was awesome. He made a couple big shots at the end. He made smart decisions at the end. There was a turnover out of a timeout that was kind of on both him and Tatum, more so probably Tatum because he definitely didn't make the right movement and then Smart threw it away.
Yeah, I think.
But he was really good in the 4th quarter. There's not a whole lot to complain about with Marcus. I thought he was great tonight. I wish they gave him opportunities to get more assists. He only had 4. But nobody really had a lot of assists. The team as a whole only had 24, which
Tatum had
great.
7.
And Tatum had 7. Good for him. But Marcus was pretty great. He was all over the place. Got to the free throw line 9 times. Pretty great.
Yep. Made 8 of them.
Next
Huge.
highest was 4
Tatum
from Tatum and Malcolm Brogdon. And nobody else shot free throws. Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
However,
Jaylen Brown went inside a lot not to get to the free throw line.
Speaking of the free throws, though, 16 to 17. That's what you need. Please make your free throws, people. But yeah, shout out Marcus. He was great.
Well, I love complaining about free throws because that's one thing I can be like, I would literally make them. Like, I would make that shot.
I can't.
If you put me there, I would make it. Jack, every time I warm up and we play, I go right to the free throw line. I shoot a bunch of free throws.
I can't make them. While we're dishing out praise,
I can't say free throw tonight. I've only slurred my words every time I said it. I don't drink.
Shout out to Al Horford. Played very rough the whole series, and in the last 2 minutes of the game turned into Superman once again. Made a big shot, couple big defensive plays, made 2 big shots actually. He was great. Al Horford with the quote of the century after the game on Twitter just now. He said,
"Saw this.
There are some people you can talk trash to." Excuse me, let me rephrase. Jay King tweeted, Al Horford said someone talked trash to him on the sideline before the big 3 that he made. Quote from Al Horford: "There are some people you can talk trash to. You talk trash to me, that's probably not good for you." Absolute beast. Love Al Horford. Big time plays by him towards the end of the game. Big defensive stops, big time 3-point shots. Like, oh man. Like after he played pretty poorly, at least shooting wise, he was fine.
It literally was at the point I was like, Jack, they shouldn't put him in. Like they should
play
Tatum at center. and run small because I'm sick of seeing him get put into switches. I'm sick of seeing them not be able to get stops, and he's not even giving them the ability to stretch the floor. He's not making threes. Made the last two, like you said, huge shots in what was a tightly contested game in the fourth quarter. The three he made to make it a 3-point lead for the Celtics, which felt like their first substantial lead in forever, was huge. It was the first time I felt a little bit of relief. And then they came down and got a stop and actually got a rebound. Not to mention Horford had a double-double. And he was all over the stat sheet with assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. Big game for the man. Plus 9 in under 30 minutes. Pretty solid night for Horford. I'm pretty happy to see he was back. I was getting a bit concerned at the end. When I was texting you, I was like, even if they move on, if he's not able to make threes, granted, if they play Philly, it's going to be a little different. But how useful is he going to be? But if he's able to make his threes,
he's back.
Can you pull up what his percentages in the playoffs?
Yeah, let me look.
I feel like it's a little bit low. I don't think he's been that consistent, especially in the middle part of this series. I think he took a dip shooting threes, but
no, he's been bad.
Yeah, and
he's
when
been
you
bad.
shoot
I don't know,
like second best in the NBA in the regular season, you're going to make your threes, especially when he's
25.
9 of 25. That's just under 40%.
It's 36%. It's not terrible, and that includes tonight though. So what was he? 2 of 6 tonight. So it was
heading into tonight. It wasn't that bad then.
7 of 19. What's 7 of 19?
That's just under
37%. So it's fine. But I mean, in your defense and our defense for judging the threes, to shoot 36% in the series after a regular season of shooting.
Wait a minute, you said he was 7 of 19
heading into tonight.
I flipped the numbers in my head. Okay.
What do you mean?
I was like, if he was 9 of 17 and he shot 6 more,
7 of 19.
That's only 23. Oh boy.
In our defense though, him shooting 37 in the series is fine, but when he shot 45% on the season, it's a little bit of a dip.
It's disappointing. Him, Tatum too. Tatum is 30 points. Time to crap on him.
Yeah, right. No, but shout out Al Horford. He was great, and you need him in the upcoming series. But neither of them compares to at least who is my man of the hour. And you knew this was coming, Sam, because it had to. Oh man, Grant Williams. Oh, I mean, what a game! What a game! He was like, he was in the
Grant Williams
lineup.
Is the only guy that can shoot 1 of 4, and you're like, what a game.
But he was good. Like he played good.
No, he had good moments. When he came into the fourth quarter, he actually made a good impact. He was good defensively.
Yeah.
You didn't see him as somebody that Atlanta was able to target, which was important as a big man out there for the Celtics.
Because they could target out. That was the issue.
That was the thing. We were talking about that. But then he made a big 3. He missed another one that was a big 3 if he made it.
He did have a
misses a layup on a fast break, but gets the offensive rebound in one of the most obscure fashions you'll ever see. Runs out of bounds for 5 seconds and then steps back in, and nobody else wanted to grab the ball, so he gets it back.
He had a bad turnover too, but that's fine.
Oh yeah, the turnover was bad in the first half. That pissed me off, and he missed a layup in the first half.
But he was good, and the defense was important.
I mean, I guess he was all right.
He was good. No, if you look at the stats, you think they're like, wow, why was he on the court? But if you watch the game, you understand how important he was. He had a huge steal on Trae Young in the final few minutes of the game, got the ball over half court, was big there. He's like, the other thing that I think is so important for him and for the Celtics, like, he could have gone like ice cold, right? Because not many players, we saw it with Peyton Pritchard all season, he doesn't get any playing time. He steps right in and he immediately just nails a 3, right? Like, you need that readiness. Like, he's always going to be ready to shoot that shot. As much as he did make a couple like questionable plays, it is what it is. Like, he's got to be on the court. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me that he just got benched again after that game 3. Like, he was so good in game 3, and then he just got 0 playing time the next 2 games. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it, especially in a series where your bigs are getting cooked on the perimeter. I'm not saying Grant's, amazing on the perimeter. Like, he's not great, but he's better than Al, right? And Al's a good perimeter defender. Grant's just better. Like, it didn't make sense to me that he's benched. He's got to be playing moving forward, in my opinion. Like, I just don't. I don't know. Maybe that's me being a big fan of Grant, but I don't think he can get any more DMPs. I think he's too good for that at this point.
Well, he's not going to get DMPs in the next series unless he absolutely falls
you
off
say
the cliff.
that, but who knows?
Well, it wouldn't make sense. This is a series where it's going to make sense to play Grant. with Embiid being a big body, you're going to need as many guys as you can, especially because he's going to fall all over the place and get whistles. So you're going to see them have to spread out the minutes with guys getting in foul trouble. You just don't want to see Horford out there defending with 4 fouls if you don't have to. So that's going to be a reason why you see Grant play. Hopefully he's able to stay somewhat consistent shooting. What did he make? 5 of 6 threes this series, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, I can look real quick. I have it up.
Yeah, he made like all of them in game 3.
5 of 6. Yeah.
Yeah, and then missed one today. 1 of 2. Not bad. So solid showing from Grant. Can't complain too much, especially on the shooting. I think the shooting is one of the most important things you're going to see from Grant. I don't really care what he does inside the arc because I really, quite frankly, don't want him driving because that's when it gets ugly. But if he's able to make his threes, that's huge. That's his role. At the end of the day, that's all they need him to do is defend and he's made shoot threes. And he's made 5 or 6.
And he's played good defense too.
If you're going to play Philly, you got to spread them out. You got to make all these guys defend. And if they're spread out, things are easier for Tatum. They're easier for Brown, Derek White, Smart. You name anybody else that's going to be Brogdon driving to the basket. Great. Good job. Good job.
Craig. I thought it was a rough Rob game though. He kind of just didn't seem right from the jump. He was fine. He made a couple it just seemed like he wasn't as impactful as he has been in past games. And obviously there'll be games like that for everybody, but not the best for him. You did mention
Rob when he's not impactful is just like, wow, Rob didn't do that much. It's not like, wow, Rob really screwed them.
Yeah, well, that's because he doesn't have that huge offensive role like some other people do. So it's not as big a deal.
Well, even Grant doesn't have an offensive role, but you can be like, he screwed them a lot of times.
I guess. Yeah, I know what you mean. That's just because I feel like Rob doesn't have the ball in his hands as much. Maybe is what I meant. Because his impact is blocking shots, it's getting rebounds, and it's passing and throwing down lobs. I bet you if you look at the stats,
Rob still had 3 blocks, 2 steals.
Yeah, I know. I bet if you look at the stats, Rob has the ball in his hands every game for a total of less than a minute. Right?
Yeah, probably.
So
the best is when he gets in the backcourt and there's no one around him and he still refuses to dribble. He's like, please, somebody come get this from me before I kick it to the next planet.
Oh, man. You did mention Philly, and unfortunately, our recording plans got a bit thrown out of whack, so we're going to have to reconfigure another pod we were planning to do. Maybe we'll do it mid-series. I don't know what we're going to do now. But if the Celtics
weekend.
Oh, true. I keep thinking Saturday. I keep thinking they're going right into a game on Saturday, but we do have a weekend, so we will hopefully have time. Whoa, team up, chill the fuck out, buddy. Come on. But we can talk about the Sixers a little bit now. We don't have to go too deep into it because we'll do a full preview.
My favorite thing about playing Philly is they have the super cool song. And I listen to the song because I like the song.
It is a good song.
It's a good song. It's a good song.
You give them credit.
It's only not a good song is when you hear it after a game because that means they won.
We should start playing it if and when the Celtics get a win in the series. The intro music to this will just be that instead. I'll just do
only if they win the series. If you do it 4 times, it'll get old. We need to bring back halftime shows for this series too, because now these games kind of matter. Not that we didn't feel like our lives were over tonight if they lost, but you know what I mean. These are the games. This is what we were waiting all season for.
The tweet you put out of my texts. Oh my god!
Yeah, your texts were great.
That was funny. Well, it's because it was my live reactions. I was live reacting to the game.
I don't even know what you were reacting to. I don't think I was looking at my phone at the time.
You weren't. What was that? Let me look. I can tell you. So for reference, Sam tweeted it. There was a string of texts I sent him that was, holy fuck. Oh my fucking God. Kill me. Oh my God. Oh, I remember it. Because I started. It was Tatum's put back dunk. And then a big Al Horford stop, and then something else, and then Al Horford fouled Bogdanović on the 3, and then I said, kill me. So that's where we're at. But then
how funny it would be if the Celtics beat Philly in less games than they beat Atlanta.
Oh, I'd be amazing. I hope they pack them up. Just get them out of here. But we'll see.
I agree. I think the Celtics should win every game. So
realistically, though, we take the green glasses off. How many games do you think the series goes?
It's hard to say with Philly, right?
Because Embiid, you don't know.
Well, even without any stipulations, the Celtics just play so well against these guys. It's hard to imagine the Celtics losing a bunch of games. But then again, they beat the shit out of Atlanta all year too. So
They lost
There's
more
that.
games to Atlanta in the postseason than the regular season.
Yeah. You know what? That makes me think of the Warriors when they were 73 and then they all of a sudden wanted to lose games in the playoffs. Like they progressively lost more games as it went on.
This is true. This is true. Did they lose more games in the postseason than the regular season that year?
They lost 7 plus 2 plus maybe 1. So,
you're gonna make me look it up.
Close.
Let's take a look. Warriors franchise
That's
index.
a good question.
Let me see.
I'm curious.
73-9 year. Boom. Postseason. They lost 1 in the first round. 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. The same amount.
Same amount.
Yep.
That's crazy. But yeah, Philly, I don't know, man. I almost want to be like the Celtics are going to win in 5. And I'm not even being like super homer.
I
just think they play Philly really well. I almost think Atlanta's offense is better than Philly's, oddly enough.
I don't know. I know what
After
you're
the
saying.
All-Star break, look it up.
I know what you're saying, but I think I'm pretty sure the Sixers had like the best offense post All-Star break. But I know what you're saying. It's the way they play offense, not the offensive rating.
Yeah,
itself.
like they're not. Well, I don't know. Like maybe they'll try and have Embiid hunt mismatches all season or all season. All
I don't think he could get many mismatches on the Celtics. Like even if he gets like Marcus Smart on him, like it's like true. I don't care.
I don't really know. I just think the Celtics might be better equipped to handle a team like Philly than Atlanta. Like Harden, how healthy is Harden? Harden's been kind of ass in the playoffs. He had one good game.
Sixers and Hawks had the exact same offensive rating, 120.1.
Yeah,
post All-Star break.
NBA.com's been lying to us all pod.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
But there's truth to it. Like
I do know what you're saying.
The Celtics feel like a better matchup for Philly.
It feels like, I wonder if the numbers will say this. Post All-Star break, I'm still looking at.
Also, these guys better realize, like, the red carpet is really out now.
I know.
All right, it's 0-0 again. The stress is gone of potentially slipping up in the first round. This is you have to play a real team now. Shout out to all the people that got mad when I was saying the Hawks were a real team. You have to play a real team now. Okay? It's time. This may be the realest team you play. It very well could be the realest team you play.
I will say, I think the biggest difference is if you look at the pace, the Hawks had like a top 5 pace in the league. Maybe not top. They were 4th in pace post All-Star break.
Benefit from a better pace.
Sixers were 29th. So like, I really think where the Celtics thrive is their half-court defense. Like they can shut people down and like rotate really well when they're on. And the Sixers don't play quick at all. So I think that's where they can really like dig in and beat the Sixers more so than they, beat up on the Hawks. But we'll see. I don't know. I think Celtics in 6. Initially curious to see what other people's, say about it. But
I think you might have a point. It's a lot to ask for the Celtics to win a closeout game at home.
Exactly. They haven't done so. They
kind of hate winning in front of the home crowd.
Mm-hmm. They closed out a series once last year, the Milwaukee series, but other than that, they haven't done it since Philly last time in 2017-18.
Wow, that's a very long time.
Or at TD Garden, I'll say, because the COVID year they were
it doesn't
count. So they have only closed out one series at TD Garden since the Celtics and
even then they wouldn't have closed out either of those series. They won in the bubble at home.
Really?
3 seed, swept Philly. 2-3, they were the away team in Game 7 against Toronto.
Oh, really? I forgot Toronto was the 2 seed there. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's an insane stat that they haven't had to win a series at home.
Well,
because they swept Indiana in 2019, lost to the Bucks, obviously bubble. 2021 they lost to Brooklyn, swept Brooklyn the next year. Yep, Bucks in 7, and then that Heat series
Miami.
They didn't want to win Game 6 at home, so
yep. And then this series on the road.
That Game 6 is one of the more obscure things. Like, I don't know why that game gets under my skin so much. I just
Miami.
Feel like that should have just been 48 minutes of fun. Like,
yeah,
they're going back to the finals. Like, everybody's just freaking out. And also,
what pisses me off?
6 of 8 from 3. Good job, brother.
Tonight, yeah. What pisses me off is they couldn't do it in front of Bill. Come on, guys. Like Bill Russell was in the house for Game 6 against the Heat. I remember he was ready to hand.
Did he go to Miami?
No, I don't think so. He couldn't. Like, no, of course not. So, L.
I don't know.
Excuse me, L. But, anyways,
I mean, they should be ashamed of themselves still of Game 4. So. They should just go back and watch that game every day.
Which one? The Heat game?
Game 4
of the Heat series?
Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
When they shot a bunch of threes and then lost.
I remember you talked about it a lot.
I still can't believe they lost it. If you
It
pulled
crazy.
it up right now, I'd be like, wow, I can't believe they lost this game.
Yep. I agree. Before we
Bucks are out. We didn't really talk about
this.
Yet.
I was just gonna say this before we get out of here. Can we talk about can we have a little pity parties night? Not the right. What's the opposite of a pity party?
Piss on the grave.
Yeah, that is exactly
pissing on the grave is one of my favorite expressions. Like, I don't know why when people say that makes me laugh really, really hard. Hold on.
Oh,
let me pull it up.
It was phenomenal. It is.
I'm going through the Bucks community on Reddit. Let's see.
What kills me is, did you see Richard Jefferson? You know how before the playoffs started, he said Bucks
he said the Bucks
Celtics
are better.
He backed it up. He still backed it up on Twitter today. He was like, he's defending. He's like, well, Giannis was hurt. It doesn't matter. And the Celtics lost, Game 5. And so
I
was like
Richard Jefferson too.
I do too. But someone responded to him and was like, Richard, the Celtics are up 3-2. The Bucks lost 4-1.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a difference. Let me find the tweet.
Shams, Mike Budenholzer's status as Bucks head coach is very much shaky. There are questions across the organization. I'm told Budenholzer has 2 years and $16 million left on his contract.
Pack him up. He's got to go.
Budenholzer is such a bum, dude. He was a bum before this year. He was a bum in the Celtics series last year.
Richard Jefferson on Twitter. Someone said, deepest team in the league, though, right? Champions on the bench, and that matters or something, right? They were frauds like many of us saw. Blah, blah, blah. Richard Jefferson. Boston is playing the Hawks. Y'all just lost at home versus a team without DeJounte Murray. Slow down on the victory lap. Not having the best player in the world for 2.5 games hurts. They couldn't recover. Shout out Heat. They never let up. Boston been healthy the whole series, though, right?
See, what Richard Jefferson doesn't take into account is that Tatum played like me in Game 5.
This is true. Also, Boston is playing the Hawks. I think we can all agree the Heat are probably better than Hawks, but like, let's not sit here and act like
that's not what the plan says.
That's what I was going to say. Let's not sit here and act like the Hawks quite literally didn't beat the Heat to get into that spot.
I'm rooting for the Heat because I think Jimmy's a great story. Plus, I write about the Heat, so it kind of makes me money if they do good. But
if you're the Celtics,
it would be kind of funny if they got clapped. It wouldn't be fun because they're playing the Knicks.
Because it's the Knicks.
Yeah.
I will say, though,
like too much happiness around the Knicks on my timeline last night.
You have a better appreciation for the neutral fan now, right? I assume from watching a lot of these playoffs games.
Yeah, I've enjoyed a lot of the playoffs. The neutral fan, when it comes to Celtics, still go fuck themselves, though.
I know
stay
you
away
don't.
From my team.
I know you don't love Madison Square Garden because of the respect it gets. However, I will say the Knicks fans are good. I give them credit. I am very excited to watch Jimmy in Madison Square Garden. That's going.
I'd love Jimmy to just kill them.
That's very fun. I will say though, if you're the Celtics, who would you rather see in the ECF?
Miami.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Miami's very deep, and Bam's ready to learn Chinese. So
Bam not good.
Beijing Bam has not been very good. Even though he had a triple double in Game 5, he was terrible. Like before I rolled over and went to bed,
he was good on defense. Oh man, Danny,
should we get him on?
We could have him on. That'd be funny. Just for a little segment.
No. Sorry.
My friend Danny, longtime friend of Bannertown, if you remember, you remember. He just tweeted at me and Sam and said, I've watched one game this series. Should I come on the pod to discuss?
Actually, maybe we should. Let's do a couple more minutes of this and then we'll have him on.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's not doing anything. He just
we can do it now. I have nothing else to talk about. He might be at a bar. But we can have him on. Let me text him. We'll see what we can
Hold
do.
on.
I don't know if we'll have Danny. I just sent him the link. He just texted me back. When am I coming on? Click the link. We'll see if Danny joins here. If not, maybe we'll have him on as a brief segment in the future pod. But yeah, the Bucks are packed up and out of here. I mean, I didn't believe it until it happened, and I'm just also now, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm apologizing for the pod background banner. That's a disaster for me. I have the wrong one up ready. It just got to be a little higher up. Yeah, that's an L for me. But
what?
It was. Do you see? Look at the bottom of the screen, Sam.
What are you gonna do?
I know. Yeah, I didn't think the Bucks were gonna lose until they lost, and then Mike Budenholzer. What?
The Budenholzer memes on their subreddit are so funny. I'm gonna share screen.
He didn't call a timeout in the end of
and we can
regulation, and
look.
he had 2. And then, did you see their final possession of the season? Grayson Allen just not getting a shot up.
Like, this is actually
man.
really, really funny. Budenholzer, stop giving me your toughest battles. It was literally the Heat, and he's just in distress. Every Bucks fan today, Disney Junior Firebuds, Animorphs, Mike Budenholzer turns into Mike McCarthy. I made you guys this. Coach, the lead is slipping away. We should probably call a timeout.
Wait, keep scrolling.
Be quiet, guys. I'm trying to watch the game.
I'm stuck on Firebuds. I still see Firebuds right now.
You do?
Yeah, that's what it shows me on the screen.
Oh, on my screen, it shows all the new ones.
I don't see the new ones. I
That's
just
a
see
disaster.
Firebuds. Sam's internet not letting him share screen effectively. Oh, there we go. I'm catching up. Okay.
You can see the stock image
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. I'm good now. Keep going.
Let's see. Oh, this is a funny one. Spoelstra went into the Heat huddle and was like, why didn't they call timeout? What are they doing?
Wait, can you link me that on Twitter? I want to watch the video when we're done.
I'll do it afterwards. This is the best one, I
man.
think. When your number 1 seeded number 4 defense gets matched up with the 8 seeded 25 offense,
It's
and it just Budenholzer.
head in hand.
New Twitter pic.
Oh my god!
I'll send you the thing now.
It's so good. I'm so glad.
I feel for Bucks fans though, because if this was me and the Celtics lost, I'd be going through it.
I'd be
like
so upset.
If the Celtics lost this round, I probably wouldn't want to talk to anybody for a couple days.
Yeah,
I actually think that's a valid way to act.
I saw something. I was on TikTok last night, and it was a girl taking a video. She goes, POV, your boyfriend's a huge Bucks fan. He's been sitting in the dark for the last 45 minutes. And she just pans the camera to the other room, and it's just her boyfriend laying on the couch with his phone in the complete dark, just like scrolling.
It was due.
You're good. Oh, it's like Celtics fans said. It's okay to make fun of the Bucks now. It looks like Danny will not be joining us today. We can have him on at a future date.
Oh, it's too bad. That would have been fun.
But yeah,
it's like the perfect day for Danny to come on because we're saving our Philly stuff, and we really don't have that much to talk about.
But yeah, no Danny today. We'll have him on at a future date. He's a bit busy at the moment. Let's take a quick look around the league, then we can wrap up. Keep it another shorter pod. The shorter pod did great for us yesterday. We appreciate the support, so we'll try to keep it a little shorter today too.
I really hope the length of the pod had nothing to do with it.
I have a bad feeling it did, because I just like, if you're on YouTube, I feel like you're more apt to click a shorter video than a longer one. But Suns took care of business against the Clippers. Nuggets took care of business against the Wolves. Both of those went through. Grizzlies showed some fight, decided not to lose to the Lakers. And then the Warriors finally won a road game. Crazy for them. And the Knicks, Cavs are so fake. Pack them up. Oh my!
Yeah, Cavs are fake. I bought into it. Idiot. I really believed in them. I was like, wow, like they have a really good starting lineup. And they were like, no, we're actually not good at all. Donovan Mitchell sucks. Mobley sucks. And Jared Allen can't get a rebound. So what are they doing really? Not a whole lot.
Up by Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson was the best big of the series. Like what?
I'm interested to see how this goes against the Heat. Do you think the Heat will fare any better against them? Do you think they're going to put up a better fight? Do you think Bam's going to look like he belongs in China?
I have a bad feeling the Knicks are going to beat the Heat in like 5.
I think it would be funny if they did, but I don't want the Knicks fans to get all excited. I don't like that.
My thing is,
there's like 2 Knicks fans I like. 3.
Can you name them, or are you just guessing?
No, I like Rob Perez, Worldwide Wob. I like Sam Morrell, who's a comedian, and
Andrew?
I like this kid I went to high school with. No,
what about
Andrew
our chatter?
pisses me off. He tries really hard to get us started with the Knicks.
We love
I
you,
appreciate his viewership, but is a stretch.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a bad feeling. Not a bad feeling. I don't care. I don't hate the Knicks. I like Jaylen Brunson. It's fine. I think they're going to win.
Jaylen Brunson's fine. The rest of them are annoying. Josh Hart's kind of annoying.
You don't like Josh Hart? I love Josh Hart.
See, like the guy that like everyone's like, you have to like this guy. You know me.
Oh, okay, I see.
Like, fuck off. No, I don't like him. How about them apples?
But yeah, interesting playoffs. I'm excited for the rest of Kings Warriors. I hope they make it 7, and I hope the Grizzlies also make it 7 because why not?
Right? I would like
the
Grizzlies to win. I would very much like the Grizzlies to win. Would be cool. Actually, if the Grizzlies don't win, then Ja's fake. That's the rule. Challenge is out there.
Is De'Aaron Fox fake? If the Kings
he
lose?
Hurt his hand.
Okay. And this is his first playoff run. This is Ja's second. He has more of like he'll all the way. Actually, Ja's third.
De'Aaron Fox didn't say he was fine in the West.
This is true. He didn't talk. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad.
Ja might have hurt his hand too, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I was gonna wait a second. He hurt his hand like worse. All right. Well, it is getting late. I will probably not go to bed, but I'll say I'll go to bed. And I know Sam actually will go to bed, so we can wrap up.
Bed. I have PT in the morning.
There you go. What time?
I actually can't wait for PT.
Why are you excited?
Because the guys that do PT on Friday rule. They're like younger guys. They love sports. They're gonna want to talk.
You talk about the Celtics?
Oh yeah, they're gonna be pumped.
There we go.
I'm so happy they didn't lose because I would have had to talk about them in the morning if they lost.
Would have been. That's my least.
And I would have had to talk about it with you and be miserable.
As much as I am completely and always going to be grateful that I get to do this for like a living right now. One of my least favorite things is having to talk about the Celtics after they lose with like people that don't watch every day. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll just be like, "What's happening?" I'm like. And I'll like explain like a million different like small things the Celtics did, and they'll be like, "Yeah, they just kind of stink." I'm like, "Then why are we talking if that's gonna be your takeaway? Like, what the hell?" Anyways, my two plugs are always going to be, and
we didn't do rat list.
Oh, we can do rat list.
Yeah,
I forgot about
we owe
that.
the people. Take a minute.
We'll do rat list quick. My rat list is Trae Young. I don't care. I just he's gonna be on the rat list. I just don't like the way he plays. He annoys me. And that's the essence of rat list, isn't it? If someone annoys you, they go on the rat list, and he annoyed me, so he will go on the rat list. Orthopedics telling me I can't play basketball for 3 weeks. It's fucked up. I don't know if I'm gonna listen to them. I might break the rules and play before the 3-week mark, but they told me I can't play.
Oh, that's
for a while,
right.
So they go on the rat list. Very tough.
My rat list, Giannis rat list. I didn't like what he had to say yesterday.
Oh my god.
I thought it was lame. I thought it was lame.
I disagree.
If you missed it, Giannis like went on this big Disney rant about how there's no failure in basketball when there's like, I'm sorry. Well, I'll say this. I do think like the back half of what he said is true. I think sports are full of ups and downs. And I think it's part of it, but to act like there's not failure with this Bucks team is just fake. It's not true. All you had to do was say we didn't meet expectations. I know you have a problem with the question.
Yeah, the question's dumb as hell.
He could have went and gave that same lengthy answer and had it make sense. But if he just started was like, yeah, we failed to make expectations. We didn't.
I think
the question puts saying, Giannis, did you get a promotion? Is just it's not the same thing.
I disagree. The question puts Giannis in a ridiculous situation. And if it was a one-off,
answer the question.
Let me talk. Let me talk. If you ask the question like, what happened? Like, this has to feel for like a failure for you guys. You're the 1 seed, like blah, blah, blah. And let him have an actual explanation. The fact that the same reporter asked the same question last year after a 7-game series against the 2-seeded Celtics or whatever the hell seed, I forget, where Chris Middleton was hurt, shows me that the reporter is just fishing for a viral question comment, right? That like, no matter the situation, if the Bucks could have made the finals, lost a 7-game series to the Sun, he was going to ask the question. That's why it's bullshit to me. Because it doesn't matter the situation. I don't. It's crap. It's so bogus. It's lazy, and I don't know the guy.
You don't think it's a valid question after what just happened, though, without the context? I think the context of last year makes it a little bit more questionable because I don't think last year can be wholeheartedly labeled as a failure.
Phrase it less like an asshole and fine, but like that you're just a dick if you're going to ask him.
How would you have phrased that question?
Something along the lines of what went wrong for you guys. Obviously, you were hurt, and it was the Heat have a guy like Jimmy Butler going off, but this has to feel like a failure of a season for you. Like, what do you think you guys could have done better?
I almost think if you asked me what went wrong, I'd get more pissed at you.
I just don't think like you put him in a spot where no matter what he said, he's going to go viral and he's going to be like shit on by some people. And you could sit there and say, no, well, if he said this, but then there's people that are going to go at him and say, well, how are you going to call it like blah, blah, blah.
People are going to shit on him no matter what he lost.
Exactly. But then don't put,
you know why people are going to shit on him, Jack, is because they failed.
They failed
to
I just
to
disagree
put a
with
respectable run together.
I just like
you disagree with what? You don't think they failed?
I
We
disagree
just made
with
fun
the
of them for
question.
10 minutes.
Motherfucker, I'm getting mad now. I'm getting actually mad now. I told you exactly. I explained to you what I disagreed with. Yes, they failed. They failed to win. I disagree with the premise that you're just going to ask him a lazy ass fucking question to try to get him to go viral. I don't
That's not what I'm
disagree with
saying
that
right
they
now,
failed.
though.
I know, but then
I think your point has validity, especially when you talked about last year.
I know, and then you cut me off in the middle of my statement and picked off the first part of what I was saying to yell at me. What the fuck?
What did you say?
I said I don't think they. I was trying to say I don't think.
You're right. Oh no, you were saying half the people are going to say something anyways.
Yes, and then you said something about.
I said because they failed.
I know.
Is true.
Sure.
And then you said no, and I was like, you don't think they failed? We just made fun of them.
I know. In the middle of my statement, you cut me off.
You got to do better with your statements.
I'm getting actually angry. I think it was a lazy question. I think you're fishing for a viral response from somebody who's obviously like, I mean, if you just like failed, sure. You're going to be mad if someone says, did you fail? Like, no fucking shit, asshole. Like, shut up. Like, ask something with like some sort of substance. That's my thing. Like, go up to the Celtics tonight and say, so, you know, like after game 5, you go up to Jayson Tatum. So, do you guys think you failed tonight? Yeah, no fucking shit, idiot. No shit. Obviously. Like that's
an open-ended question. You could be like, well, not yet. We didn't lose the series.
It's just lazy. I just think
you know what lazy. They should have is asked Thanasis because he's actually the most important Antetokounmpo on the team.
Oh man, I just thought it was lazy. And as much as like you want Giannis to come out there and just like what do you want him to do?
I like Giannis. I just thought
we failed and start shit. I saw this on Twitter. I think like what do you want him to do? Like go out there and say yes, we failed. This person sucked. This person sucked. Start picking apart his whole team.
I told you what I wanted.
Yeah, but what you want is different.
One say is we failed to meet expectations, and then the second half of what he said is fine.
But in hindsight, yes, and from a person who's not sitting there after getting 4-1 by an 8 seed, of course you're gonna say that. Him in that situation, mad as hell. Like,
yeah, I mean, you can't be perfect.
You know what I'm saying? Like, true. I think I just think it was bullshit. And
I just thought the promotion thing was weird. I was like, that's not the same.
I know what he's saying. Right? Because like, is that reporter going to go sit there and ask him that every season after they don't win a championship? Because that's lazy as shit. That's dumb as hell. Like you're going fishing to write the same thing after every season they don't reach the ultimate peak that 1/30th of the NBA can do. I understand what Giannis is saying, and I've always said this. I've always been of this. Championships aren't everything, right? And you want to win one, obviously, no shit, like because all the people that don't win one. But are we going to talk about how like Charles Barkley's a terrible player, Steve Nash is a terrible player, Carmelo Anthony, like all these like amazing players who just can never get over the hump? Are you going to go up to
very overrated?
But are you going to go up to them after their career and say, "So was your career a failure?" Like it's just lazy and it's just dumb. Like and the way Giannis said it in the answer was like, it just shows you, man, winning the championship's fucking hard. Like because stuff can go wrong. Giannis can get hurt for 2.5 games, right? Chris Middleton can go out for a series, or Kevin Durant's foot can be on the line, or Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant can go down to the series, right? And so if you treat every other season like internally, right, you want to grow from it, you want to learn from it. But like to say that every single season of your career where you didn't win a championship was a failure is like also crap. Like that's just like a shitty way to look at things, and you're never going to be fucking happy if you think of things that way. And so I think you can simultaneously be upset with the result and also realize that like not reaching the ultimate peak was a failure. And again, in the context of going out in the first round as a 1 seed, yeah, that's a failure. But it's the fact that the same reporter asked the same fucking question a year after he asked it in a tougher spot, just that shows me there's no like validity to his question. That shows me he's lazy. He's going to ask the same shit every year when Giannis doesn't win. And he's asked the same thing 2 years in a row after he won a fucking title. Dumb as fuck. Don't like it. Not a fan.
Yeah, I don't know if the question was super valid last year, but it's 100% valid this year.
Sure, but then it shows me that he doesn't care about the validity of the question if he's going to ask it every time they don't win a title, right? As valid as it is this year, the fact that he asked it after last year shows me he doesn't give a shit about the situation.
I mean, they were up 3-2 at home last year. That's not good either.
I disagree with the question.
If I think the Celtics went up 3-2 and they had Game 6 at home and they lost, and then they lost to Miami last year, we all would have said failure.
Sure. I just disagree with the premise of asking somebody who, especially in this context, was hurt for 2.5 games, is obviously going to be frustrated with the result of his season, to put him in that spot to answer a question that's obviously going to go viral and get him some hate. Like, I just think it's rude and annoying and unfair to the player.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, it's a tough answer in the moment. I did get a kick out of he was like Jordan won 6 titles in the other 9 years he didn't. Is that a failure?
Yeah,
because
he's right.
No, hold on. And if you asked Jordan, he would 1,000% be like, yes. He would be like, yes, it was.
Sure.
Because that's how Jordan was.
Whatever.
And it's true. Like, that's crap. But I don't think
that's a shitty way to live your life. I'll put it that way. That's a shitty way to live your life.
I think maybe it's not fair to ask it last year, but I do think maybe with the circumstances it was this year, it's fair. I mean, dude, they not only failed, but like it was embarrassing.
At least ask him at the fucking exit interview conference. Don't ask him after. You know what I'm saying? I just disagree with it.
Or maybe be like, how do you think you guys can grow from this this failure?
I just thought it was a dick thing, especially with the context that he asked the same fucking shit last year. That's
and Giannis is a pretty likable guy. He doesn't seem to be a dick, and I don't think he was a dick in the question. I thought the promotion thing was weird, but
I agree with the promotion thing.
Promotion's more individual. I think he should have been like, if your article doesn't get as many this many views, as a failure, whatever. I don't know. It's not perfect. It was on the spot.
Well,
it was improv.
I just don't. I think it's like. I mean, if you want to get
an athlete, not a writer.
That's my thing. I think athletes get treated unfairly in that regard. Like if you don't win a championship,
you ever seen the Blake Griffin thing where he goes on Jimmy Fallon and he makes fun of on court interviews because people always say athletes sound dumb, so he makes Fallon do like 10 jumping jacks and ask him a question.
Yeah, and it's funny. No, I don't know. I just think it's crap. I just disagree with that whole premise. Like, was this season a failure for the Bucks? Sure, but asking that guy that in that spot, like. You put him in an impossible situation. It's like asking, in my opinion, it's similar to asking Jaylen Brown, are you going to stay after your contract? Like, what do you fucking want him to say? He's going to get shit no matter what. It's just annoying. I just don't like it.
I think the Jaylen Brown thing is valid, though. People are asking. People want to know.
Sure, but what do you expect?
I don't expect a great answer.
Exactly. That's my point. What do you fucking expect from Giannis? And
somebody had to ask. That's the job of the journalist.
No, they didn't. No, you didn't.
That's a valid question. If you was states,
that's where you use your journalistic fucking brain and just say this season was a failure. Throw your fucking opinion there. No shit. Like, duh.
There might have been a better way to phrase it, but
I don't like it.
It's definitely valid after they get bounced in the first round by the 8th seed. After everybody was crowning them, or not everybody, like half the people were crowning them.
I just didn't like it, and from Giannis's initial response, it was like you could just tell, like. You're really like asking me this right now, like no fucking shit.
Yeah,
shut up.
Fair to Giannis.
All right, well, so much for us not going over an hour. Fuck me. My 2 plugs. Subscribe to the channel. We had a huge boost from last pod. We're at like 321 right now.
Yeah, we had 16 new subs.
Yeah, that's nuts.
We're no longer Mr. 305.
For real, thank God.
If you made this far, subscribe.
I'll give us our credit though. Shout out, maybe Miami got the boost from us being at 305 for so long. Maybe it's
you got to give us credit for doing a pod after that game.
It's true.
Even if it was just 30 minutes of screaming.
Yeah.
I was like sneaky embarrassed. I was like, this is the one everyone's going to see. Like, we're just screaming at each other. We're not being funny.
That's good though. The shorter
we were sneaky. We were probably funny, but like unintentionally.
But yeah, leave us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well, and the review on Apple. We appreciate it. And I'll let Sam wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, you're on YouTube. You're on How About Them Celtics. Make sure you like, share with your friends. If you enjoyed the pod, subscribe to the channel. Help us keep climbing the ranks and the subs. Leave comments. We had 1 million comments last time. A lot of Hawks fans that said we didn't know ball. Egg on their face and their boys sunscreen on their body as they go to Cancun. Watch that one. Jesus. But on top of that, Jack said it, streaming services, we're there. Apple, Spotify, make sure you follow, leave 5 stars, say some nice things there, save the mean stuff for YouTube. You did a good job last time. All the mean stuff was on YouTube. Fair amount of it. On top of that, at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We should start tweeting the pods again. I'm going to start reminding you. But you can find stuff from us there. Facebook, we're live every game, 30 minutes before, as well as YouTube for the pregame. We're bringing halftime shows back. I'm making it happen, except for game 3. It won't happen. Head in the microwave. Feet on dance floor. We won't be there. I won't be there. Maybe Tim will be there. Who knows? If you want more of Jack, he does great work at Jackson1NBA on Twitter. He's tweeting. He's writing articles for Celtics blog. Great work. Make sure you follow him. If you want more of me, at Sam LaFrance NBA on Twitter. I was dropping 50 tonight. I was on fire. Felt good hitting the keys on Twitter. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.